When working with honeybees, I consider the bee smoker to be my best friend. In this video, I will share with you some of the qualities that I feel are important to consider when buying your bee smoker. A well-maintained, carefully chosen bee smoker will be a joy to use and last for many years. A smoker, in my opinion, that is superior to others is going to have those bellows made out of leather with riveted or with stapled fasteners to hold that bellow system together. I recommend for that leather bellow system that you use a boot wax that is going to allow for that leather to be preserved and to allow it to be folded in that seam where the bellows come together. And that will allow that leather to not crack as readily as it would without that. And I also like a can that does not have a guard on it. The guards tend to make that smoker a little bit heavier than I like. There are some advantages to that guard, but the disadvantages, that weight always seems to be more important to me than the features. The feature of a guard would be to keep you from being burned by that can as often, and it'll also allow you to have a place for your hive tool to kind of live. And so those are kind of neat features. Some of the cans that you'll see that have a guard on them, there'll be a solid guard that gives you kind of another layer around the outside of that can. Some of them are a wire guard. I don't love either one of them. If I'm going to choose, I like to stay away from the wire ones. A lot of times they'll get hung up on different things that you run into, and they're kind of cumbersome and heavy, and so I like to stay away from that. I like a bee smoker that has an average sized can where your smoldering material is going to sit in there. In the bottom of that can is going to be a little grate that holds your material up off the bottom of that can. It allows the air to circulate from the bellow out into the can, and then it exhausts out the top of the smoker. The thing that I like about a average sized bee smoker is that you can put enough smoker fuel inside of there, and I would like to think that you could get an hour or more of use out of a given bee smoker with an average size can. I like the lid to have a medium-sized opening where the smoke comes out of it. I like that lid to be able to be opened and closed easily, and that's where you run into some of the maintenance things on a given bee smoker. Some of the time that creosote will actually run down the exterior of that can, and you'll find that creosote will build up on the rim of that lid. And so if you can keep that rim of that bee smoker lid tidy or cleaned up maybe every half a year or a year, you can keep that so that it's not a fight where you're taking the top off and having it fight you. Your bee smoker over time will start to collect creosote, not only in the top part of that can, but it'll also collect on the sides of that can, and then as that creosote kind of crumbles and deteriorates, it'll fall into the bottom of that can. So it'll get underneath of that grate. It starts to plug up the system. And so while your bee smoker is cold, I recommend that you actually dig down in the bottom of that can with your hive tool, and you can hook that little grate and actually pull it right out of the can. You can then scrub the can out with your hive tool and get that creosote and tip it upside down, knock that cold creosote out of that smoker, and then put it back together. Up on the lid of that smoker, you'll see where that creosote is also building up and where the can and the lid come together, that little rim. I recommend that you take a hive tool and kind of give that a little bit of a scrubbing there around that rim, and then also use that same wax that you put on the leather bellows to lubricate the inside of that can so that lid will sit on there and not be a fight when you go to take the lid on and off. I'm a big fan of staying away from plastic materials that are somehow used in making some of these bee smokers nowadays. I don't think a rubber blue and yellow smoker is superior to an old wooden style smoker with leather bellows. I'm not quite sure why as a group of people here, why we continue to look for new ways to make a better mousetrap. I feel like a date ant smoker is your best foot forward for somebody that's getting into bees. I would not buy any other bee smoker other than a date ant bee smoker. They're a proven long-term quality piece of equipment that will not disappoint you. That one would be the one that I would choose out of all the smokers that are available for you to sort through. That would be the one I would go to. In conclusion, I recommend that you get a bee smoker that's going to last you a lifetime. If you get a bee smoker that has a leather bellow with wooden backing, either riveted or stapled together, a medium-sized can without a guard on it, it's important for your bee smoker to be lightweight and to be easily cleaned. I believe that if you maintain that smoker by keeping up with the leather and then cleaning the interior of it, that bee smoker will not disappoint you. This is part 1 of a 3-part series on bee smokers. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll know when these videos come out.